The following is a special presentation of KDOW. Money Pulse. Monitoring the heartbeat of money. From Wall Street to Main Street to your wallet. Now here's your host, Dennis DeYoung.
All right, welcome back to the Money Pulse. Today I invited to the studio Arjun Buxi. He is a college professor and an executive coach. Welcome. Thank you for coming in today.
Thank you for having me, Dennis D. It's a pleasure to be here. Happy to answer your questions and get to know you and the folks.
Yeah, we're really excited to hear what you have to bring to the table. So, an executive coach, I know, let's start with your professor job. What do you teach as a college professor?
Sure. So for many years now, almost 2 decades, I've been in higher ed. I teach communication skills and I teach business communication. So for MBA students as well. So I teach at the master's level as well as undergrad. I've been teaching public speaking now. It's my first love. I grew up speaking on stage. And so, it made natural sense that one fine day I would be teaching it to other people, how to speak well in front of an audience, how to debate, and in these days, business communication, written emails, leading a team, coming up with a company culture. And that parlays really well into my corporate work, which is the other thing you mentioned, the executive coaching, corporate training, all your favorite Silicon Valley companies, and working with their executives.
Excellent. And that business is Culture of Speak. Is that correct?
That is the name. Thank you.
Wonderful. So you are CEO, founder of Culture of Speak as well.
That is, absolutely. And I can share where that name comes from.
Please.
And, it's a simple idea that just like the two key words in there, culture and speak, the idea is that most companies, most organizations really, there's just no communication occurring, strong, proper communication occurring between all the people in it. And unless you have that, you don't have a culture. And as every corporate executive knows, culture eats strategy for breakfast.
Right.
So my goal is to come in, help everybody get on the same page, stem out any conflicts, and make sure people are leading in an authentic and sincere way so people actually love to work for that particular company. So that's why the name Culture of Speak came. If we're all talking, we're working well, and everybody is successful.
So important, work culture, isn't it? It really does impact work ethic.
Very true. Yeah, and that's a great connection you made because, if I'm not happy doing what I want to do and doing what I'm being asked to do and the people I'm doing it alongside, I'm not going to do a good job of it. And so productivity is really linked to a strong and effective workplace culture.
Yeah, I can definitely understand that and resonate with that. You said you grew up on stage. I want to hear a little bit about what that was about.
Oh, yeah. And like all good things in life, you don't plan on it. It just happens. So way back when I grew up in India, and I remember we would have morning assembly, and I was in like 5th grade, and the school principal was just, this is the first day of 5th grade, just to be clear. And there's 1,000 kids. It's a blistering hot sun in the morning. And suddenly it's like, Arjun Buxi, come on stage and read the announcements with me. No forewarning, no notice, nothing.
No pressure. Wow.
I know. And but guess what? I got up there, I took the paper, took the microphone, and I did the job. And so that's what I realized, that I think I like this. You become a different person with a microphone in your hand. Not different in the sense that you change who you are, but it becomes a very amplified, magnified version of yourself.
Absolutely.
But also I think being able to communicate to many people at the same time, it's a very specific psychological ability, but you can be learned, but it is much more difficult than people think.
Absolutely. I know many people that won't do it. It's not that they can't do it, right? But they won't do it.
Hey, it's good for me. I help people learn how to do it, which is, I think, a wonderful ability, especially, out here in Silicon Valley. People have big dreams to build companies, build businesses, and help millions of people, their customers, and you have to be able to speak to them.
Absolutely. So have you done any projects, any speeches that you've written before, or anything that you want to share that you're proud of, that you a project that sticks out to you, or maybe it was a learning opportunity or a challenge, or I don't know, any kind of example you could share with us? Oh,
sure. Well, my work kind of takes two different shapes. Okay. One is kind of the, in person or one-to-one, I should say, work with, like an executive. And I have some great stories there. I've worked with everyone who might have been on the far end of the spectrum, timid as a mouse, and they have to learn how to be confident amongst others. And then there's the far end of the spectrum. People are blistering, throwing staplers across the room. Have to learn.
I've had a boss like that.
Right. Unfortunately, many people have.
Right.
But then they have to learn to play well with others, like we learn in kindergarten, right? Get along, play well with others.
Be nice.
Exactly. And then the other part of the work, I think, is just as fun, which is working with large groups of people. So, I'll come in and then people are like, okay, we're 40 people and we just all got hired. Now, how do we, get all on the same page? And so some of the fun companies I've worked with, they started out as a scrappy, 100 person, private company, and now they're listed on the stock exchange. And that's a wild journey that I've been proud to be on with some people. Or it's, same deal, 5 people in a garage and it's an idea and tomorrow they're on Shark Tank, and I've seen some of those journeys through it as well.
That is very, very exciting. And you get to watch what you kind of molded, kind of walk out there on the stage, so to speak.
Right.
Oh, that's beautiful. Okay. So, and you're local here in Silicon Valley. Is that correct?
That's
okay.
True. Yeah.
Where are you based out of?
So I live and work in San Jose for the most part, but I'm moving up and down the peninsula and East Bay, wherever people need me to be. And and even through Zoom, I'll work with people on the East Coast, Europe, people from South America, Asia, wherever they may be. That's the beauty of today's technology, right? You can work with anybody, anywhere. Anybody,
anywhere. Okay. Arjun Buxi with Culture of Speak. I love that. I do love the culture and the speak, and thank you for sharing that with us. That was
my pleasure.
A beautiful marry to those words. I mean, really, it is. So you're also a college professor. What did that path look like? So you started on stage in 5th grade reading the announcements, and you fell in love with teaching and asserting yourself in front of people and being vocal. Like, where else did your journey take you before you became a college professor?
That's a great question. And yeah, I can connect some dots there. So, since that 5th grade moment, and there were others like it along the way where I was just pushed out on the stage with a microphone and an MC script and, okay, lead the event. And I was just told to do things because no one else wanted to do them or was happy doing them. And so that was the funny thing about the spotlight. I never chased it. It found me. And then one fine day, I'm on stage, in the school I grew up in, speech and debate was a huge thing, and by comparison, it's like in an American school, you were big if you were on the sports teams, like a quarterback or something. Mm-hmm. But in this school, back in India, like the debate captain, which is what I ended up being, was the big guy.
And big guy on campus.
Yeah. And again, I just sought to, bring some glory home for the school. I was not someone who loved I wasn't in it for the name and the fame, but I was very passionate about the ideas, and I was very passionate about finding the best argument to prove a point true. And I think that's what drives you, the search for truth, the search for common ground. And I think, one fine day, you're in a college program and you're learning communication as an actual college degree, and an opportunity opens up to do a guest lecture. And you're like, I think I enjoy this. And then from the guest lecture, it's like, okay, you're in grad school now, make some money on the side as a teaching assistant for a professor. And that worked out. And so that sort of kept opening up the path along the way. And not all of it was glory. A lot of it was hard work, 300 miles a week, going to different schools, in rough economies. But you do that. You show up at 6 a.m., 7 a.m., work till 10 p.m., late classes. You pay your dues. And one fine day, then, bigger opportunities come your way.
That's great. Thanks so much for sharing. And so now you've taken all of this knowledge and all of this passion that you have for this, and you've made it your own with Culture of Speak. And if anyone wants to learn more about that, they could go to cultureofspeak.com and check out your organization and what you're all about. They can also connect with you on LinkedIn. Is that right?
That'd be great. Absolutely. I'm always happy to meet new people. It's not just about the training and about the coaching, just sharing ideas and finding different ways of collaboration. I'm always trying to help the right people find each other. Like if you're looking for a co-founder for your startup, who knows? I might know someone.
You're the connecting guy.
I do.
That's good. So Arjun Buxi is a good man to know. So you better look him up on LinkedIn or check out his website, cultureofspeak.com. We will pick back up on your executive coaching and why that is so important now, especially with all this social media and all the digital conversations. People don't know how to speak to each other really anymore. So I think that's going to be a very great piece of this conversation, kind of open up everybody's ears and minds to possibly hiring on an executive coach and the reasons why it could be so important and so invaluable to their company.
Thank you.
We'll be back.
Money Pulse, KDOW's financial news magazine, monitoring the heartbeat of money from Wall Street to Main Street to your wallet. You're listening to Money Pulse on AM 1220 KDOW.
Okay, we're back here. Money Pulse. This is Dynasty Young, your host. I'm sitting here with Arjun Buxi from Culture of Speak, also a college professor locally, based out of San Jose. Thank you again for joining us. We're going to get into some of your line of work here. You said you're an executive coach. Right. What is an executive coach? What does that look like? Why do I need one? Why does my boss need one? Help me here.
Fantastic. Dynasty, that's a great question. I always love to very gently distinguish it from what people know is a life coach. I'm not a life coach. Okay. I'm not here to help you with your personal problems, although that is something that parlays into everything. Jokes aside, what is an executive coach? It's exactly what it sounds like. It is someone who, the term executive doesn't just mean someone with a big title, right? Executive means making decisions. So a coach who works with executives is really helping people make tough decisions, right? Or making them the kind of person that is able to make those decisions. So what does that entail? If I had to specify, I would say I'm an executive communication coach. So I put the third word in the middle, communication coach for executives. And what does that mean? Well, first of all, people need to be, when you walk in the room, you look at them without them saying a word, that's the person in charge. That's your end goal, right? That without a word, without any explanation given, people look around the room, they see you and they say, you're in charge, let me talk to you. But we have to get there. So the first thing is clarity, right? You have to be very clear about your ideas, your philosophy, your vision, and how you want to go about things. Much of that comes from what the Greek word goes, ethos, your credibility. You've got a long career behind you. You've done schooling. You've got years of experience. Own that, but also be able to tell what that is. Hey, I've done this project or this type of project before. Hear out my idea. This is how we can solve the current problem, right? So in just a couple lines, you've established your credibility. Now everybody's listening. Now you have to tell a story and paint the picture of your solution. That's part 2, right? And part 3 is, of course, pathos, right? Which is another Greek word, same root word for empathy and sympathy. You have to get people as a human being on the same page with you. I'm sure we can do this together. Encourage them and build those bonds of trust and respect. So I really do believe that it is these core principles, credibility, problem solving, and human connection. This is the building blocks of being a true executive, and this is something that over a period of time, someone like me can coach you to do.
That's impressive that you can coach someone to do that, because that cannot be an easy thing to do.
No, and the beauty of executive coaching is it's sort of like how you might have heard the old saying from Michelangelo the artist, right? And he was like, you'd see a hunk of rock and, there's a beautiful sculpture in there. The sculpture is already there. I'm just removing the pieces that don't need to be there. Mm-hmm. And I feel it's very similar with coaching or training or communication skills in general. It's not changing who you are. It's bringing out the version of you that's already there. It's just there's all this extra stuff in the way. And can I be straight? The extra stuff is usually doubt, confusion, and quite frankly, lack of opportunity. Setting people up to take their opportunity with both hands, with courage and believing in themselves with a little bit of risk taking, it can change your life.
Wow, that was powerful and beautiful. Love it.
Well, thank you. Yeah.
Definitely communications professor over here as well. You have your way with words. I appreciate that.
I appreciate that too. Thank you.
So you've worked with a lot of Silicon Valley businesses, small and large. How would somebody know that they need an executive coach? You've explained to us what it is. What is a good indicator, of a professional, of a leader, of a founder, CEO of a company or growing company, startup company, established company, any kind of company? How would they know? What's a good indicator that they need some help and they do need an executive coach behind them?
That's a great question. I would say there's many, many indicators. The umbrella term I would use is friction.
Okay.
In other words, what are things that are slowing you down, that you put in a certain amount of effort, but you get way less return on it, right? What are things that maybe you're looking for a promotion? Oops, you got passed over. Somebody else got it. You apply for a job. Oops, somebody else got it. You go to, let's say you're a startup, and you go to the variety of VCs, the investors, and you get turned down again and again. Maybe we're not saying things the right way. Maybe we're not telling the story right. Maybe people aren't able to take you seriously. So in other words, if doors are being slammed shut in your face, or people are giving a lot of critical feedback, that could be a really good sign that you need some kind of professional coaching. I can tell you that people that get referred to me, my favorite, I guess, typology of client is what I call the diamond in the rough. Somebody that has immense potential, but gets frustrated, maybe has a temper, maybe is not assertive enough, whichever way it is, but they're not able to take the reins and really be in charge. And so somebody in the company believes in them, but just knows they need that extra help.
Yeah, diamond in the rough. I love it.
Yeah.
Okay, so I was thinking of another indicator as you were saying these things, because those are obvious to me. Like if you're not getting chosen, you're not getting promoted, you're not achieving your goals that you're setting forth. That makes sense to me. I need a coach to help me get there. What if you already have a company and maybe you have a retention issue? Mm-hmm. Is that something that you can help with?
Oh, for sure. Retention is a great example. I think, you see basically things keep falling through the cracks. You see, you send out an email, nobody responds. You ask for something to be done, it doesn't get done. Again, friction is a good way to categorize it, but you're absolutely right. It doesn't have to just be a person working for a company. It could be the entire company or the entire organization itself. So I've come in before to various different businesses where, for the lack of a better term, there was bedlam, utter chaos. Nobody knew what was going on.
Oh my goodness.
And it kind of took some time and many hours of work to get everybody on the same page, establish some procedures and process, and more importantly, accountability. Because if there's no accountability and, doing things the wrong way doesn't get you some kind of consequence, you'll continue doing things the wrong way.
So it sounds like you are a consultant almost as well. From what I'm hearing, you could come into a business and really oversee, find those friction points, and then discuss them in your executive coaching sessions. And will you address those specific issues that are more business oriented? Are you comfortable in your consulting with them?
No, and I'm so glad you mentioned that because in addition, like a lot of people who might dabble in this profession, I do have communication skills, but I also have a business degree and have business skills. So I might be one of the few executive coaches out there that will not shy away from a balance sheet or a P&L statement.
Nice.
So I'm happy to look at numbers for you. More importantly, I think I know that every aspect of the company makes a difference in how things work. So for instance, with this one company, we had to figure out how to do reporting better because people didn't know important pieces of data. In other cases, it was, we don't have a business plan, but we've been in business for 15 years. It's kind of like a mom and pop store. We made a business plan for them, right? And because we need to know who your competition is and what your unique advantage is. And of course, with startups, you have to start with a blank slate. So everything has to be built out. So I love business problems. I love working with entrepreneurs and startups. I also love working with, reform-minded executives who maybe just came into their role and they're like, there's a mess here that my predecessor left. And, I'll come in and, help you clean things out in a very minute, meticulous kind of way.
Wow, I know a lot of us can relate to that one. I personally have taken over businesses that were just wrecked.
Yeah.
And picking up the pieces takes a very, very long time. So you could reach out to Arjun here, and you have the business degree, you have the communications degree as an executive coach. That's extra value there. And you could come in and help piece together a strong backbone of a company that maybe didn't have that ever, or lost it when it lost its first owner. Things happen. That's wonderful. I have some friends I think you might need to talk to.
Oh, it would be a pleasure. and what I love is that I love every kind of business. So I'm agnostic towards what industry people come from. I've helped finance companies, manufacturing, construction, obviously a lot of tech because that's where we live here.
That's where we are, yeah.
But a lot of healthcare, believe it or not. Including I've worked with, say, for instance, a chief of medicine in a full running hospital.
Wow.
Or like your garden variety, I guess fintech, health tech companies where it's a mix of two industries. So there's a technology piece and then there's the industry piece. But I love all the industries because I learn a lot over the years. It's been quite a while now. So I'm able to sort of help people be a better competitor in their industry. And everybody needs good communication. And specifically, actually, my specialty was organizational communication. Mm-hmm. Hence, reaching the term culture of speak, which is what we ended up with. So, it's all about making all the pieces connect, dotting the I's and crossing the T's, and making people communicate their best.
Excellent. And if somebody were to want to look into this, besides going to cultureofspeak.com, and that's cultureofspeak.com, or looking you up on LinkedIn, that's Arjun Buxi. It's Buxi. Do you have an email you want to share?
For sure. So you can just, it's the same as the website. So arjun@cultureofspeak.com.
Excellent.
And just in the subject header, just let us know you heard about this through this program.
On KDOW or radio would be fine too.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, thank you, sir. Thank you for the insight. I hope some of our listeners, I know a lot of our listeners are business owners, entrepreneurs themselves. This is valuable information, and you'd be happy to speak with them, for free the first time. Yeah. Is that okay?
100%. We can do an intro call, 30 minutes, no problem, and get to know your situation, see if it's a fit, and if it is, be happy to help you and figure something out.
Excellent. So Arjun Buxi, that's Arjun, ARJUN, at cultureofspeak.com if you're emailing him. Otherwise, just check out cultureofspeak.com and reach out that way. Thank you again, sir, for joining me. It was a lot of fun, and I hope some people reach out to you and learn some more stuff from you because you're a very intelligent man. Thank you.
Thank you, Dynasty. Thank you for having me.
This has been Money Pulse, KDOW's financial news magazine, monitoring the heartbeat of money from Wall Street to Main Street to your wallet.